Welcome to the Mentality Podcast. We're recording at the incredible Wheatwood Hall Hotel podcast studio. This is a podcast that goes way beyond stigma. We talk about men's mental health and mindset. We encourage the type of conversation that will open you up to another way to live life, another way to see yourself and the world around you. If you are ready for that, you're in the right place. I'm Stevie Ward and I'm an ex-professional rugby league player and captain. And now I guess I'm a bit of a podcaster, a speaker, actor, writer, entrepreneur. I'm still working all that out. But at Mentality, we help men take control of their mindset by teaching them to find purpose, resilience, and what I believe is the new success, inner peace. That sounds good. If you are that guy who is waking up to the fact that they need to do something different in life and the same old habits aren't working for you, it might be time to step up. If you want to start your journey with us, you can go to mentality.co.uk/coaching to join the best team you have ever seen.
Stevie.
Hello, mate.
How are you? Good?
I'm good. Good
Very
to see you again, mate.
Yeah, good. Thanks very much for joining us today, Stevie. And the reason why I'm here today is have a chat with you about Movember. Here we are, Movember. I've got my little thing going on, trying to grow a bit of Hulk Hogan tash and talk about Movember and mental health. And I thought, who's the best person to turn to? Who knows all about this kind of stuff? The ex-Leeds Rhinos legend and captain, Stevie Ward. So
thanks for having me, mate. It's a bit like an away match, isn't it? You come up here with that tash. I should have done the same. I didn't even think. I've got a scruffy hat on just because, guys, for you watching, I've got a brain injury and I've got to. This helps me not having as many migraines. But I've also got a scruffy beard. But I could have tidied myself up and done that as well. The same.
Yeah, just for me.
Yeah.
But we are where we are, aren't we?
We are, mate.
Yeah. So in terms of, what's your role and involvement with mental health?
Martin, you've been there from the start in terms of Mentality. It was something I launched in 2016 when I was out with a 12-month injury. I was 22 years old with an ACL injury, 12 months it was, and there were a lot of fluctuations with my mental health, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and a lot of questioning and wondering what I was doing and how to make the most of my time, basically. And a lot of those questions I had went to mental health, and a lot of the questions sort of went to how we spoke about mental health as men. And that world that I was in that rugby league sort of sporting related arena, I felt like we never spoke about it. And I just felt I had that much time, I had that much sort of drive in me, which I couldn't put out onto the field as I always had done. It was the first time that I'd been taken off the field. And I just knew that I had to do something, and Mentality was, in essence, me asking the question and putting out something physical and tangible into the world to say, why are we not speaking about mental health? Because it's the biggest thing that we've all got in our lives. And we see the world with mental health, we react, we're compassionate with mental health, it basically is how we interface with the world, with reality. And
why is it, do you think, that men don't talk about mental health?
Because there's a lot of fear, and stigma is basically fear. So Mentality, the sort of tagline is to go beyond stigma. It's just a thing with men that we're just so scared to do it, and it's always been like that. And it was something I've growing up, and I'd had so many inspirations from outside of sport, and these people spoke openly about it. In music,
such as who? In
the arts, you listen to Kanye West now, and we listen to people in the music industry. Mate, I'm a massive Linkin Park fan, and they spoke about mental health pretty much every song, and all these different bits in the world did express it and they speak about it. But I lived in a world in sport where the worst thing you could do was speak about it, because everyone was so scared to do it. So I wanted to do something to, change that.
And over the last few years, since you've been injured and you're starting to speak about it, do you think it is slowly getting better?
Yeah, 100%. It's getting so much better. I mean, you wouldn't imagine, 5 years ago, never mind 10, 15, 20 years ago, but to have the public arena or the public sort of forum that we have now where we're speaking about mental health so openly, and people, mate, at the Olympics, I don't know how much you saw of it, mate, but every other athlete was speaking about their performance fully as a whole, not just the physical times and PBs, but how they got to that mentally and what they had to overcome that mentally. And we're just seeing a more open, more honest and more compassionate level.
And why do you think that is, that people are speaking about it more?
I think we got to a tipping point, mate. I just think everyone, I know I did, it just got in the rugby league arena. I think, thinking back now, I think we did speak about it. We used to say stuff like head noise, and head noise is when you get a bad review or video review after you've had a bad game, and you'd have head noise all weekend, which, that's just another term for anxious, depressed, worried. Do you know, all these sort of phrases, and they were always there, but we've just not been good at speaking about it. But now we're getting better. We're getting more understanding. We're understanding that people are going to feel down every now and then. We are wired as humans. We are wired for struggle. We're wired to survive. So it's just looking for a better life and a better experience, I guess.
And in terms of, there's two things here, but just in general, how can men help each other and boys? We're not just talking about men, a lot of this starts in the school playground, doesn't it, as well? So how can we just help each other? So that's the first question. And then the second one, I'll come to a bit more of an employment and a leadership and a management role. So how can we all help each other?
I think a lot of it is, mate, is understanding yourself a lot better, doing the work to know yourself a bit better, knowing your values, knowing the behaviours that you want to be act in the world, the way that you want to sort of attack the world, the way that what you feel is your purpose. And then it's understanding your ups and downs in order to have compassion for other people's. And then on the top of that, you bring the openness out of it. You bring the idea that you can be open with your teammates, with the colleagues that you've got around you, with your friends that you've got around you. And then you find your circle, you find your tribe that works for you. You find the people that really care for what you are and care for how you want to deal in the world and what you want to do. So I think it's finding out more about yourself, knowing your values, knowing your purpose, but also being a bit more open and knowing the people that you can be open with. Because you can't be open with everyone. You've got to have the people that you can be open with as well.
Yeah, and seeing the other people who are, might be a bit distant in meetings or, let's say in a sporting environment, that they're not there putting the 100% in. How can other teammates and colleagues support that kind of person when you just, you're aware of that?
Mate, do you know, like, the biggest performances we've ever had as a team, at Rhinos, is when we had coach, we had teammates that were so fascinated with getting to know the individual uniquely, warts and all, not just, can you turn up for me on Friday night at 8 p.m? If you can't do that, I'm not interested in you. To understand the player, to understand the person, and understand uniquely how to motivate them, uniquely where the mind goes, uniquely how to get them into a position where they're playing well, but they're also playing for a cause and they can play for the teammates around you. And a lot of that, mate, is to be able to be vulnerable and to create an environment where you can be vulnerable and open and honest. Because then you've got the trust. The true way to show courage is it's the biggest gauge of courage, being vulnerable, being able to be openly honest with how you are, how you're feeling, and also an element of going, I don't have the answers here. Do you know? We can dress it up as much as we want. We can dress it up and say, these are the tools, these are the habits, these are the things that you do as a person. But you have to get more and more happy with being able to go, I don't know the answers. I need an hand. I need someone to speak to.
That answer isn't just mentally, it's physically as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
So especially in the sporting arena. So in terms of my second question there is, in terms of, you will have had this growing up through rugby and old school, it's that line, isn't it, between, someone say one more drive, one more rep, let's do another session, go through it again when you're physically spent. So what's that line between a leader in a business and a leader on a rugby field or whatever arena you're in? You want to push your team to get the very best out of that team without pushing too far?
Yeah, it's a really good question. That is something I'm figuring out as we go. There's Jimbo there with a camera, and there's other people that have come and helping with mentality. I'm having to run a business now alongside a brain injury, and automatically, mate, the person I am, I'm always building stuff. I'm always trying to achieve. I'm always trying to just go to the next level, and it's automatic. I think I'm addicted to it. Do you know? And I'm trying to work that out and put things in place for when that drive in me keeps going and keeps trying to build stuff, that I have the days where there's no appointments, there's no time where I'm actively thinking about the business. I put myself in another situation, another position where I'm not fully going at it. So you just need to know where the team is, know where yourself is, and the best way that people want to work. I think that's forever a thing that I guess you will be as a CEO, trying to work the best way that you all can. One of the best things that I never introduced into a rugby team, but I think if I was still playing I would do now, is the concept of 3-word check-in. And this is basically rocking up for, I don't know, it might be a meeting, it might be a wild swim, it might be anything, but it's getting together with each other and going, right, 3-word check-in, how we going, how's everyone feeling? Go around the circle, everyone gets their time to say 3 words of how they're feeling in that moment and say for why, and that just immediately makes everyone feel listened to, makes them feel like people care about how they're feeling. And even if it's a word like anxious, tired, unmotivated, when they say that and people accept it, it's like, right, okay, I can work now. Do you know?
Yeah.
It just creates that environment where people are respected, listened, heard, seen, and that's the next level of it in terms of emotional intelligence, in terms of being a team that works together for each other. That's one sort of tool into becoming a more open and more honest and more hardworking, in effect, team as well.
But in terms of mentality, is that why just men? Why not women's health or?
Yeah, because I started it when I was 22 years old, and I started it because I knew that men struggled to speak about it. Men were scared about doing it, and I'm a man, and I've spent most of my life working with men and understanding how men take messages to work on themselves, men how they deal with each other, and how men hide stuff as well. So I think mentality was just the thing that I didn't want it to be direct down the route of explaining it being mental health. I wanted it to be mentality just because I wanted to see everything as it should be, not with any stigma, not with any sort of like too much attention on one part of it, Yeah. And
what is the biggest thing since you've had your injury since you said the age of 22? What are the biggest things that you've learned and the key messages that you can pass on to help other people stay mentally healthy?
Yeah. So, mate, we've got a membership, and it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, questioning, working stuff out. Over the years that you've known me, mate, there's been a lot of time since starting mentality where there's been challenge after challenge after challenge, and it's like almost I've had to just keep coming back from the challenges to prove that the stuff that I was doing with mentality works. But there's so much stuff, mate. We're in terms of this membership that we're doing, It's called Evolve because I think everyone's got to be ready to evolve as a man. You've always got to be progressing, always got to be evolving. But we say that you end up waking up, you sort of wake up to think, right, the stuff that I'm not doing or the stuff that I'm doing here is not working. I've got an underlying sort of feeling of dissatisfaction in my life. I'm not sure what it is. The things that I thought would make me happy haven't made me happy. I need to do some work, right? And then Evolve is doing that work. It's understanding, connecting the dots of your journey, understanding your values, understanding the way to train your mind through gratitude, meditation, and to open yourself up.
The biggest thing is, before you can evolve, it sounds you need to find out what that problem, if problem's the right word to start with, that is causing that dissatisfaction and unhappiness. Yeah. And until you get that light bulb moment, you can't evolve. Exactly. Otherwise, you're just living a lie, aren't you? Exactly, yeah. You're just living a life which... So how does somebody find that? What's really, really making them unhappy?
I think, mate, the best thing is to just speak to someone. We've got a counselling service, Mentality, which we were speaking a little bit before, but it was just something we thought naturally we should offer. And it's just like, it's literally gone through the roof, just because I think people connect with Mentality, the message that we put across, the way we speak with each other. And another stage of Evolve, another stage of what's into the fabric of Mentality is to clear up to. So to make space for a deeper and better experience in the world, you know, and that means clearing up any issues that you got with the past, any issues, any beliefs, any patterns of thinking, any things that you're holding on to which aren't serving you anymore. We sometimes, mate, everyone does it. Like, you don't have to be depressed, you don't have to be anxious, you don't have to, but everyone has patterns of thinking, beliefs about himself, beliefs about the world, which stop them progressing, do you know? Which stop them feeling good in the world, or makes them feel smaller than they should feel, do you know? And it's like you've got to make room for it. You've got to clear stuff up as well, to then do the habits, to then do the meditation, to do the gratitude, and all these things that I've done during a rugby career. I did as a medicine more than a routine, but now I've left rugby and I've basically had to stop playing at 26 years old. The job that I've always played and loved and had as a vehicle for my life, I've had to make all of this a routine. So any people that feel similar, feel in a transitional place, or feel like they need to wake up and do something about it, they can join me on that if they want.
Yeah. So what does the future look like for yourself now?
So the future is trying to get my brain better. That's number one. It's a constant management between getting my brain better and sort of living to what my purpose is, which is to help men do the unnecessary suffering, basically.
And how are you getting that brain better?
I'm meditating every day, and that is something the specialists have told me that's actually clinically been proven now. So I'm glad I've been doing that for the last year and a half. I'm on this blood pressure medication for migraines, which I feel takes a little bit of the edge off. I can look at my phone for longer than a minute, which is good for me. And I've tried Botox for my head, for my migraines, a little bit for my scalp, my forehead. Made my forehead like a flipping sheen of metal. And then what else am I trying? Vestibular exercises. So I have to walk around and shake my head around and try and train my inner ear, because what I've got is a vestibular concussion, which is damage to my inner ear, the parts of my brain which is for balance and proprioception and all that sort of stuff. So I get vertigo quite a lot, and then it's migrainous, so I just get migraines on a cycle all the time. So yeah, and
so you're curing your brain and you're working with Mentality. And where do you want to take Mentality?
I think honestly, mate, like, I think from what we represent, and I feel like the meaning that we hold and the message that we get across, I feel like we can really go somewhere in terms of helping men solve out their issues, solve their problems, clear those things up that we're talking about, and then to sort of train to become a better version of themselves. That's where I see it going, and I think the counselling, mate, is just the reception that we've had from it, the just the uptake, you know, it's one of those things you put out there and you say, right, okay, let's see if this works. It's just been that natural, and it's been just so rewarding.
Is counselling the right word?
Counselling.
Getting deep now, Stevie.
Yeah.
But, you know, like as an old school person, you know, if you're having counselling, you've got a problem. Whereas really, wouldn't it be better if people are having coaching? We're helping that person. People respond to coaching.
Yeah.
But would I go and see a counsellor?
Well,
because
here you go, Martin. You've touched on the other one. We're actually adding a coaching. So we've got the membership coaching program.
Yeah.
But we've also got a coach coming in to work with us to do work through mentality, for mentality. And hopefully when I get better, that's something I can do as well. But yeah, you're right. I like that you've touched on that. Counselling is probably the thing where people go, I need something clearing up, you know? I need to talk to someone about this issue. I'm still not getting over that. I know I can be better with this. I know I can manage my life better. And I think coaching is as you say, it's for the man who really thinks there's another level for him, do you know?
Yeah.
To do the work.
Great. Stevie, fantastic catching up with you. Great session that. Really enjoyed it. Before we go, is there one question you'd like to ask me?
One question I'd like to ask you. Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm good.
How are you?
I'm good.
I've not seen you for ages.
No, it's been a very, very tough 18 months, 2 years. So, you know, I'm probably part of the reason why we're here, really, because, you know, the roller coaster of the last 18 months, 2 years, it's pushed everyone to their own levels. You know, you start questioning, you know, the team around you, yourself, and where you're going on that journey. And I think the biggest thing it's taught me is that you can't go and look to achieve whatever you want to achieve without a fantastic team around you, really.
Yeah.
So in terms of, you know, you can be great within yourself, but if you haven't got a great team around you, you're going to struggle. So I'm good.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thanks very much for that time. It's been greatly appreciated, my man.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, my boy.
Good man.